Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Do you guys have comfort games? I do. One of them is Death Smiles. It really is. And let me tell you, this is a great game, a shooter from back in the day. And what I wanted to do is take you back in time. Take you back in time 14 years to read an old article that was published back in the day in Siliconera, the website. It's still around. I'm going to put a link down below. But, you know, for those of you who are working, driving, yada, 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 I wanted to give you a piece of entertainment that you can just sit back and listen to so we can get an idea of where Death Smile came from. I really love this game. You know, I own the box edition, the collector's edition, the plate, all that stuff. It's been one of my favorite shooters of all time. And I came across this article a few weeks ago, and it really, stuck in my mind. I thought I'd share it with people. I know there's other people out there that enjoy these type of games, and I wanted to make some evergreen content that should be around for fans of these games. And I'm going to look for more of this type of content, guys. The outer limits, the conspiracy, the more conspiratorial content, when we deal about ghosts and other stories and mysteries and stuff like that, those shows come out at midnight. Okay, and I'll leave those for midnight, where we discuss great ideas for video games that come from real life, whether it's ghost stories, UFOs, conspiracy theories, whatever it is. Those are the stories that we're going to tell at midnight, and hopefully that'll become a running show. But for the content during the day, I wanted to make something that's related strictly to video games, and on top of that, be video games that are either current or in the past, but they're things that I enjoy, right? Things that I like sharing. One of the games that I really like playing all the time, it's Death Smiles. Now, they made this interview a long time ago, right? And I'll read you some of it, if not all of it, as we get through this. And, again, I'm going to put a link down below to this article so you can go check it out. So let's just get into the reading. This helps me. I'm in a break, guys. I just finished writing a paper, and I just want to clear my mind, too. Just so you know what I'm going through as I'm, reading these words. Of course, English is my second language, and guys, I'll say things with an accent, so please, I beg for your forgiveness ahead of time, but I'll do my best here, right? Before we get into the interview, let's meet some of the Death Smiles team at Cave that answered our questions, says Siliconera. First, Yunya Inoue, acclaimed manga illustrator, I probably butchered the name, known for his designs or famous shooter titles such as Donpachi, Esprade, and Guwanje. Inoue designed Death Smiles characters and provided graphical direction for the entire game. His latest manga work, Batum, is now on sale via, and this is 14 years ago, guys, Shinkosha. Alright, so then we have Tsuneki Ikeda, modern master of the manic shooter. Ikeda was the co-founder of Cave and is responsible for major hits like Dondonpachi and Mushime Sama and S. Galuda, and of course Death Smiles. Ikeda programmed and provided oversight on this project. We also have Makoto Asada, maverick producer of Cave's console ports, responsible for widely acclaimed Death Smiles, Mushihime Sama Futari version 1.5 for the 360 ports. Currently finishing work on S. Galuda 2 360 port to be released in February 25 on Japan on the 25th. Why did Cave go with a gothic Lolita theme for Death Smiles? Junja answered, given that is a popular fashion in Japan, we thought it would be a fresh take to apply that in a really grandiose way to a shooting game. We also thought it was really effective for creating cute girl characters. Can you say that in today's environment? Probably not. What other elements inspired the design of the game? G said, Cave has been putting out shooters for over 10 years. And when it was time to come up with a new setting, we decided it might be interesting to make use of Western horror, which is probably pretty overused as a genre. We designed the game with the idea that somehow these gothic Lolita characters would fit comfortably into this macabre puzzle. They weren't wrong there. Most of Cave's shooters are taped or vertical scrolling. How come you decided to make a horizontal shooter? Suneka Ikeda said, for Deathsmiles we had a concept during our planning sessions with Juja of bringing a lot new users into the shooter genre. Up until now, we had not been exclusively targeting die-hard shooter players. However, Deathsmiles was designed with the idea of attracting light users from the beginning, and from the start our goal was to ultimately have a game that ported to a home system. Given this, we thought it best for us to design a game with a horizontal screen, which is the easiest to play and most attractive graphically. Next question is, how is designing a vertical shooter different from a horizontal shooter? T said, the biggest difference is that it's much easier to give a sense of depth in a game. When you're doing a vertical scrolling shooter and trying to project depth, enemies always seem to become flying objects. And when you create an enemy that really winds across the screen, the image looks very flat. Design-wise, there's a big difference there. Next, Makoda Asada no Mushini Hisama Futari said, this is our first region-free game, and we were happy enough with the response to finalize our plans for the US release of Deathsmiles. Ultimately, releasing the game region-free doesn't make as much sense to us as localizing our games and building a real fan base overseas. That doesn't mean we're only going to release games in the US, of course, but it really depends on the interest of the fans. Aside from Princess debut, we haven't seen any other cave games in the States. How do you feel about Deathsmiles coming to North America? Ma said, we think it's a good opportunity to bring our games to an existing fan base and gain new ones who like the style of gameplay that we're known for. Localizing the game is a first for us. So there's challenges of development on the development side that we are finding our way around. Deathsmiles is our first overseas release because we think Windia and the other Angels will be well received in the US and elsewhere with their anime-style gothic Lolita designs. The game is very eye-catching, with all the crowns and skulls crashing around the horror-themed environment. Lastly, Deathsmiles is a horizontal shooter, which we think will be more successful in the US. Next question. The Deathsmiles announcement has a lot of positive buzz. There's a cave fan base outside Japan, and it's very excited about the news. So do you think we'll see more cave games released overseas? Ma says, Cave definitely is looking in a worldwide direction. For the ports of our arcade titles like Mushinime Sama Futari, ESP Galuda 2, and other games, we are really thinking worldwide in the sense of how we design our games. And we hope that the US version of Deathsmiles does well enough for us to put out more games around the world. We are also currently working on a brand new game for the 360 we haven't released much information about yet. This is not an arcade port, but it's being designed with worldwide release in mind. Definitely keep an eye out for Cave's future moves. Man, Cave is legendary, right? And those were the thoughts of these people back then. One of the reasons I want to go back and read these articles, guys, is to see how much the world has changed, right? How the meaning of words have changed, how the descriptions of these games would take a different meaning in the modern era. Could this game be released today? Probably only on Steam, right? I want to see this released on Xbox, but man, we would love it to have new productions, right, from these type of developers again, to bring back these genres. Unfortunately, we're only seeing this kind of stuff sometimes, on mobile gaming or independent, because everything's about dollars today. Man, I miss the creativity of the 7th generation. I really do. And one of the things that make made the Xbox 360 the best gaming console for the Xbox is that variety of content, right? They were making new properties, they were making new games. There was no boundary. There was no effort to do any sort of censorship with any of these companies. They just wanted to bring good games into their platform. And I wish they would still do that today. Unfortunately, it's a completely different market. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for this brief chat, right? Going back 14 years to this article and listening to the original developers. This article was published in February 12th of 2010. Guys, we are time traveling, absolutely time traveling here as I get my tongue twisted and I practice my English, right, which I will need in this college journey that I'm in. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you subscribe, man. Hit that like button for me. It really does a lot. Guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.